For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create your base piece, the top two layers out of colored acrylic using Adobe Illustrator for your electronic skill tester. What you can see on the screen at the moment is a blank A4 size document. And if I jump over to my layers palette, which is over here, and click that to open it up, you'll notice that there's two layers here. If I click on the little eye toggle on layer 1, you'll see that that is my base shape, which is a dog kennel. And then if I take that off and click to see layer 2, you'll notice that all of this here is the detail that I want to be cut out of the top piece. So essentially everything that is in red is going to be cut. So the bone is going to be cut out and therefore we'll see the color underneath. And everything in black is going to be etched into the plastic just to give a little bit of detail. So I'm going to show you how to do this now for yours. So what you need to do is set up a new A4 document because that's our size constraint. So you need to go to File and New, and you need to click on the Print tab, which will open up some presets for the sizes that we want. So we want A4, so I'm going to click on this one. Obviously you will need to determine whether here portrait or landscape works better for your design. So I'm going to use portrait for this example, and I'm going to make sure that my color mode is on RGB. So let's go back to that, and then I'm going to go to create. Okay, so I've got my A4 piece of paper essentially, and I'm going to start off by doing on layer 1 here my base layer. So what I can actually do is I can double click on that and call it base, which might make it easier for you to know which one you're working on. So for my base design, I'm just going to do a simple shape. So I might just want a rectangle shape for my base. And what you'll notice is at the moment, if I click back on the selection tool, is that it's black. So to set that up for the laser cutting machine to actually cut that out for me, I need to select it and I need to go up here and I need to select red as my color. Now I need to make sure that it is pure red because the laser cutter only cuts on a red of 255. So to double check that, I'm going to go over here to my color palette and I'm going to make sure that it is 255. So if I click on the outline, 255, and I'm going to bring the G and the B down to 0. So that means that it's that pure red 255 which you see up here. The next thing I need to do is change the stroke width for the laser cutter. So up here, I'm going to double click and backspace that, and I'm going to type in 0.025 and click enter. And what you'll notice is it's a really hairline red outline, and that's what the laser cutter is going to read to cut that shape out. So if that's my base shape there, you might find that you want to use an image to trace from. So if you need to do a little bit more of a complicated shape, what you can do is place and trace an image from your own files. So if I go into, for example, this dog bone here, I'm going to place that. So I've gone to File and Place, and then I'm going to click on the page to drop my picture in. So as you can see, it's a little bit on an angle, so I'm going to rotate that because I want to save as much space with my design as I can to stop wastage. And I'm going to make it so that it fits on my page. So if you're wanting to enlarge your shape, your picture, just remember to hold down shift as you're dragging that out, and that will keep that in proportion. So in order to trace that, there's a couple of options that I can use to do that. You can either use your pen tool here, and you can draw over the top and click and drag to do corners. Okay, so you can do it that way and link it up. Or alternatively, you can live trace it. So if I click on the image, and this works best with outline images, black and white. So if I drop down this little arrow next to image trace and go to black and white logo, you'll find that it traces like that. From this step, you need to go to expand, and then you need to right click on the image and click ungroup. Click off the image, and what you can now do is you can click on parts of the image and actually work with them as separate pieces. So what I actually want is this shape here because it's a clear outline, whereas this one's got a double outline. So I'm just going to delete that one, and I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did with my base shape, changing it to red 255 and the stroke to 0.025. Enter. So if I drag that back here now, you'll see that I've got my outline, and the laser cutter is going to cut right around that there. So that's how you do your base piece first.